What's going on, guys? It's Rockma. We're looking at a Bellular clip. Players hate it. The PC article on WoW. Let's talk. This is about the, I think the end cinematic with Sylvanas and Jailer. So if you haven't seen that, don't want it spoiled, don't watch it.
Even if I liked the cinematic and disagreed with their
I thought
take,
it was cool.
I think it's important to bring up the PCGamer article. And we've been seeing a few of these things floating around the place.
Yep.
And the reason I bring this up is...
Let me talk about the one of the main things I didn't like about the Sylvanas cinematic was that they used her shooting the arrow at the Jailer to emphasize his power, that he didn't even have to look at it to like negate it. But she's been kicking everybody's ass for so long that it really devalues our player power. I felt like that was kind of shitty. If you're gonna make her a next tier badass, just to get her shut down by an even bigger and badder boss, it makes everybody who got their ass kicked by her seem like nothing. And I don't know, man, that just feels kind of shitty that you're gonna do surfing like that.
Because people know of Warcraft, right? Almost everyone knows of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So in the broad culture of gaming, and we've all experienced this, where, you know, you'll see a Polygon article on World of Warcraft that's by somebody who doesn't really get World of Warcraft, and you can see how to an average, like, consumer of, I'm not saying Polygon, like, as a direct reference, you know, generic, like, gaming website. But, you know, as like, maybe a subject matter expert in that game, you're like, well, that comes off as a bit of an uninformed take. But that doesn't actually matter, because the general public sees the publication. And that informs their vibe. Because, you know, they'll maybe glance past the headline, and then, you know, they'll be talking with their friends in Discord as they're playing another game. Like, oh, you remember, you know, we used to play WoW back in the day in college. I saw, you know, an article. Apparently the story's going to shit now. That really sucks, man. I could have, you know, went back to that game, but I mean, if the story's not going good, why would I?
If you're basing anything on Polygon, you're not serious about gaming, dude. They are... I've seen all kinds of shit from them, and it's just flat out fucking wrong.
And that's going to be the conversations that loads of people will be having in their Discords and stuff. Now, the whole point here is,
here's Polygon.
Even if that's unfair, it does not matter that that's unfair if that's what's happening. Because we have to engage with reality and deal with it. We can't just sit around the place moping about how reality is wrong and some people are slightly off the mark in their takes. Because the thing that matters to, in this case, Blizzard's bottom line is the general public sentiment. And with all of the money that they pour into advertising for World of Warcraft, you know, we have to deal with actual things, because the World of Warcraft is GaaS, games as a service.
Right.
There are aspects of the SaaS, software as a service, model that apply here. And one of the most important things of any SaaS model, when if like financial forecasting is being done, is cost of acquisition. Now, cost of acquisition is going to be lower when you have a addressable audience and an incredible product market fit. And, you know, you've got, like, you know, good funnel, good sort of web design, you know, all that stuff that makes it, you know,
basically, when you're ducks in a row, people are going to feel more comfortable with where their money's going.
You can find your target customer really easily. They're going to really like your product. It's not going to cost, you know, that as much money per acquired user in Google AdWords and stuff like that to acquire that user. It's a core part of the SaaS model. It's a core part of the GaaS model as well. Now, whenever
what's the investment going to take in order to get my player base up so that I can make more money?
Things like this happen, right? World of Warcraft's latest cinematic is a narrative disaster and players hate it. I mean, even if Steven was not perfectly on the mark here, and even if he was only representing like the 10% of players that he saw, the issue for Blizzard is these headlines getting out there, because that will cause the people not in the WoW bubble, because we're all in the WoW bubble. Like it or not, we are in a bubble. The people outside of our bubble will just, you know, fly by, see this headline, and then that means whenever Blizzard's next expansion comes around and they are pumping up their ad budgets through, you know...
I disagree with him a lot on this, and here's why. World of Warcraft is an established game. If it was a new game, I would agree 100% that these headlines can be damaging and shit like this. But if you're on this website and you see something about WoW, 9 times out of 10 you're looking for a new game. You're gonna see World of Warcraft, and even this is not going to change your mind. It may not do anything, any favors for it, but you're not going to change your mind. And you know what's going to happen? You're looking for a game to be curious about. And when you see Genshin Impact, for instance, or you see World of Warcraft, am I going to click either of those? No, I'm not. What I'm going to do? I'm going to go on YouTube and say World of Warcraft, and then I'm going to find somebody who plays the game and get a review from them. World of Warcraft 2021 review, Genshin Impact 2021 review. I'm going to go to somebody who's going to tailor the information that I want about a game that I'm curious about to me as a new player. Now, if it's a brand new fucking game and it's like New World, servers crash, no players are able to get on for the first 48 hours, that's damaging because that's the only perception you have. But having these established games, you know that there's going to be a crap load of material and references that you can dig through and see people's actual takes on them.
You know, AdWords, YouTube, traditional media, their cost of acquisition for users is going to be higher because they've kind of damaged their product market fit because the market is getting these sentiments about the product and they're going to go, well, this product doesn't fit me anymore.
But the sentiment, the reason why Polygon or whoever, PCGamer, is putting this shit out is because there's so much negative press from the player base that they know that this was a safe take to have. Because Asmongold, because you guys, because me, because, well, not me, nobody knows the fuck I am, but YouTubers, even smaller ones, everybody's got the same take of this is bullshit and we don't like it. So PCGamer can go in and say, oh, new cinematic for WoW. Oh, let's look at it. Oh, it looks like they still hate it. Okay, cool. This is a safe take. We'll probably get some of those WoW clicks. That's, I think, what's going on here. I think that the players are driving this narrative, which is then in turn driving the narrative that you're talking about for the player acquisition and all that kind of crap. But I think that you're getting the source wrong here. I think you're putting too much stock in the big media publications. I think that this is starting from the inner WoW bubble and is being leaked out into the mainstream.
So Blizzard are going to have to spend more and more money to acquire users.
Yeah, I mean, literally look at this. Like, this is the PC Gamer homepage. Ad block segment aside, you scroll down, you see literally that headline is just there. Sure, people maybe have a filter for looking at that and going, oh, well, that's, it's, people are angry about a game, whatever, or, some sort of negativity, like, they're getting clicks, so they'll maybe upregulate that a little bit or something. But it is just, please know, World of Warcraft's latest cinematic is a narrative disaster and players hate it. If you're at any capacity on the fence about World of Warcraft, maybe you haven't seen Asmongold or like any other channel talking madly about FF instead, or railing on it. You haven't seen that stuff on Twitter because you're not on Twitter in that circle. You hit up PC Gamer because you want to see what the crack is with, is there a new Witcher game? Witcher Season 2. Oh, sweet. What's else going on? Oh, Genshin Impact's got a massive update and World of Warcraft's a disaster. Which game am I going to play?
Yeah, and
You're not going to make your decision off of PC Gamer. You're just fucking not. I'm sorry. This is cap. This is straight cap. And my webcam is in the way.
could land to that exact position that you discussed when they saw, like the tiny little square ad that's like, it
doesn't
purge
help.
the wicked, embrace the darkness, and it's got the CG, of the Covenant leaders. Maybe they've seen that, like, oh wow, yeah, that's I like vampires. That guy looks pretty cool. Cleanse the wicked, purge the wicked, whatever. Sure. Sweet, I want to do that. Nice. And then they see this. Well, suddenly the money the Blizzard spent to show that advertisement to that person has been thrown in the bin. So this is something where,
I don't know about that.
Talking about this is not shitting in WoW. This is dealing with the overall friggin' situation that's at hand here.
I think you're being too harsh
we need
here.
to deal with the overall situation because, it is worth being worried about. And I am very worried about World of Warcraft right now because the sentiment is not great. I think it is not great for generally pretty deserved reasons. And that worries me because it's like, are they basically going to close ranks and double down on what has produced things like this? And I believe a similar article might even have been from Stephen Mesner at the 8.3 ending. Actually, no, he did do an 8.3 ending article as well.
And we're still fine. We came back and had the biggest bump because it doesn't matter what these main source media is. All they do is get stuff from the community and fucking throw it back up. Basically what I'm doing on my channel. I try and put my own little twist on things, and I disagree whenever I think that you're wrong, but...
as people who care about the game and really want to see it go in a good direction and get that content that the players really want and the stories the players will enjoy, seeing this is so fucking sad. It's so sad.
It does suck to see that.
Like, this is the opposite of what we would want to see as WoW players, right?
It's weird.
I mean, there's some FF players who are seeing this thinking,
Yeah.
but that, not me whatsoever.
See, I'm going to disagree from a particular perspective, right? Because I think that the reason they get away with doing things that players don't want is because it's worked okay so far. Because it's been shored up by other things. Be that, player loyalty, be that some gameplay stuff being really well.
I agree with them
It's
a lot
the kind
here.
of thing where we have watched this disaster
doesn't feel good
unfold
to
in
see,
real time.
But I think it needs to
ostensibly,
happen.
because we saw it happen in BFA, and it kind of just kept spiraling the direction they took with story.
Yeah.
But now, this is a front page article on PCGamer. If anyone who, maybe, someone who's higher up at Activision Blizzard, or even someone who's like just generally high up at Blizzard but doesn't follow doesn't follow people on Twitter, isn't super engaged with the actual product, because maybe they follow a load of business people on Twitter because they're business people, something like that. If they open PC Gamer and see that, they'll be like, let's for a second imagine this is someone who's like
He's
on like
making a
the
good
board
point here.
at Activision Blizzard, because this isn't really how it would go, but just as a sort of thought experiment, you're sitting and you're like, I'll check PC Gamer because I have I own things that are in PC gaming land, so I'll check the news every day to make sure everything's looking well. World of Warcraft narrative, does that say disaster? That says disaster. Shit.
It says the players hate it.
Players hate it. Players, okay, and they get out the phone.
Doctors hate.
If you're a developer and you don't know that your players hate your game, you should lose your job. Period. You should fucking get fired. Bobby Kotick should lose his bonuses, maybe get a pay cut. Because of the way that the Shadowlands has been implemented. Not because of this fucking cinematic. People love, at least people I've talked to, like the cinematic. We have some problems with it. There's some narrative choices that aren't good. But you know what? If this would have come out faster, we would have been cool. We've been fine. The problem is that the fucking game is boring because the content's coming out so slow. And when we do get content, we've fucking gone through it all. It's the second week of Shadowlands, 9.1, and I've done everything. Damn near everything. I've got a couple bosses left.
This.
They open Gmail or whatever else. They're like, to J. Allen Brack, Jay, just letting you know, I just saw this. Could you provide an explanation at the next meeting of why this has happened?
Well, that's going to be fun for people who will be having meetings with Jay and meetings with Ian, etc.
Yeah, so that's why I'm hopeful.
Ian is going to have some meeting where things like this happening are brought up, and I do know a fair bit that they.
If you've ever worked in any employee business, whatever, when something like this gets brought up in a fucking meeting, somebody gets coached, somebody gets fired.
Kind of do discount criticism as trolling over there. I mean, you can actually base some of people's public utterances, let's just say, on certain snippets of text sharing websites.
Yep.
You sort of can tell that goes on, and it's like, look, this is bigger than all of us, right? This is running a big virtual world. We need to think about the integrity of that. We need to think about what's right for it, and if what's being done is producing things like this, then that is bad. And I should also say, I saw some people basically insinuating that this is just PC Gamer, seeing a dislike bar on YouTube and just trying to get an article out of it for money. I will say, Stephen Mesner has been diligently covering World of Warcraft for PC Gamer for ages. for ages.
Yeah.
Like I think he's is it Sarah's the other one? But like that's the, you know.
The Horde is so popular that in WoW, that Burning Crusade Classic, that is beginning to ruin the game. People are really pissed off at Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, ugly fonts. World of Warcraft's long-awaited 9.1 update, Chains of Domination is now live. Using blah 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 to stop children in China from gaming all night.
You know, they like
Magic the Legends is closing down permanently in October. Everything we know about blah 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 release date. Okay, so half of the things that they were just scrolled through that this guy wrote were fucking negative as shit. And I bet if we go through and look at all those articles, the negative ones are the ones that have the most likes or the most views or whatever the metric is here. So yeah, to say that this guy, not just because he's covered the game for a long fucking time doesn't mean anything. All right, Steven Messner, he still has a job. He still has quotas he has to meet. He still has to have high performing articles. Let's not pretend that he's not. He doesn't write things on WoW for fun like I do. Like, he doesn't make videos on WoW for fun or to get his voice heard. He does it for fucking money. So to say that he's being fair or that he has no stake in this, and he's just telling it how it is, I think that's bullshit. He definitely, of course, he has a fucking agenda.
Like for a long time, Steven's been doing articles about World of Warcraft. So
Yeah.
he is a WoW player. He was, I guess, one of us. It's just that instead of blogging at or writing at say a Blizzard Watch or YouTubing and YouTube or Twitch streaming, his thing is writing articles.
Yeah, except for that he's got somebody to answer to. Who do you answer to, sir? You answer to your Patreon members. You answer to your community. You answer to your Discord members. You answer to the people who buy your merch. I'm one of them, right? You do things that get us to engage with your channel because we, the consumer, are giving you what you need. He works for a company. His loyalties are not to his customers. His loyalty is to his boss.
For news outlets, right? And in this case,
that's the difference.
He's one of us, and this is the article he's written there, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, also, if you read the article, like I haven't read it completely fully from a...
I'm just saying, like, to put him in the group of like, oh, he's just one of us and he really cares about the game and he has no reason to have any other sort of take on any of this is just, it's wrong.
A to Z. I'm not going to say I like anything but the quality of it. I'd say I think I largely agree with the general gist of it, but this is either a very well constructed article by someone who cares about World of Warcraft or someone who cares enough about World of Warcraft to slam their keyboard in pure fury at the events. And either way, I think you can tell that this is not someone who's doing it just for, just for the hit click. Because you could get a hit click with 10% of the length of this article. You really could. You could basically stop it like here, and your job's done. Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna write this.
I think a lot of this article can only really be written by somebody who gets WoW. And like there's a version of this. I mean, you can disagree with his take on the story, whatever, but it's undoubtedly this is an article by a WoW person.
You can be a WoW person, but don't.
It's interesting, and it is since BFA that all this stuff has happened. I remember the times before BFA; they were so much more peaceful. We did not have a genocide waifu. There's some people saying the Alliance have done bad things too. Like, I mean, yeah, absolutely, and the Alliance actually being brought to justice for those things, I think, is important. It has to happen. It'll be very interesting to see how it happens. But I think there is something to be said about the scale. That's basically that, and the core part of this is as it applies to Blizzard's business model is like, look, this is all just going to hurt them in the long run, and we don't want them to be hurt. Yes,
that's
I
true.
don't want the business of World of Warcraft to go south, because I actually, turns out, quite love World of Warcraft, and I want World of Warcraft to be a very profitable, very successful game with excellent working conditions for the employees, a big team, all the support they could possibly need, great wages, great bonuses, and for the players to have a big, great game to experience.
Absolutely.
That's what I want.
Same.
And stuff like this happening gets in the way of that.
Yes.
And I think what I want to see is also what's good for Blizzard, what's best for them. So it's like, shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, you would think so. I'm sort of...
So what do you want out of this? I guess is my question. Like, you want the articles to stop happening? Okay. That starts with Blizzard, man. Even if this dude, let's just say that I'm wrong and that this guy is a hardcore World of Warcraft fan and he did it because he loves the game and that's all that's to it, and he just gave honest criticism. As you said, probably what it's going to do is hurt Blizzard's sales and get less people involved in the game. As what your friend said here, it probably needs to happen in order for Blizzard because they kept getting away with this shit for so long. But honestly, this video that I'm making and this video that we're looking at, we're not even addressing the people who are actually causing all of this shit to happen. It's Blizzard. And it sucks. It sucks that the article was even written in the first place, because you know what? Steven probably did want to write a more positive article. You guys probably wanted to do a better video. I don't like being pissed off at this. I like being pissed off at some things, but I don't like being pissed off at this. This sucks. I genuinely agree with most of you guys' takes, but this is just bullshit. And it's because Blizzard's making a fucked up game.
I relish headlines like that because I personally feel the only way that they'll actually be able to enact the change is when, like they're this close to the water in their dive.
Problem has gotten so bad.
They will need to be so close to the edge that they need to come back. Yeah. I think that's the only time they will be able to come back. So I'm almost happy watching all of this because I don't want it to fail, but I want them to get the wake up call they need.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just kind of thinking like, oh, this is like the ammunition for the people in the Blizzard office who are making the argument that this is not the right track to be on.
Yes.
Yeah, this is where they take the pitchforks, the whoever it be it the people who love the game the most in the offices who disagree with all this stuff, the ones who haven't drank from the Kool-Aid enough.
Yeah.
Or, even if it is investors looking and saying you're running our game into the ground.
Yeah.
Go into the office with the imaginary pitchforks and be like, right, stop doing what you're doing that players don't like, because and this is one thing that I think is very, very important, and I almost want to address this directly to the team in a way, but it is not a binary whether you're making something for yourself or making something for others or for players or for your target audience. There is a line that you have to ride in the middle of the two.
Yeah.
That I think people kind of throw stuff like, well, you can't just do it all for players. Then
we haven't gotten anything. You've done everything for money for fucking years. Give it to us. Make the customer the focus. Give us a few fucking years of customer only, take the fucking loss, and get your player base back. Please.
There's no personal story, or you can't just do it for yourself because then the players aren't involved. There is somewhere in the middle where you're making something that you take whatever is in your experience, in your heart, in your soul, and you turn that into something that is presentable and enjoyable by people. And then you go, hello, here's what my creativity has given birth to. Here's what it has become with all the production we have, like all the production capabilities we have turned this like raw piece of creativity of my soul or our soul if you're a team, and here it is in crystallized consumable form. It's like you don't take raw ingredients and fire them out. Sure. You prepare them or you cook them and then you deliver them to people, and that's kind of that's what I think is going a little bit wrong here, and it's why I keep saying they're drinking the Kool-Aid. There's something in the water there, or they're high on their own supply. I think they're so isolated that they think they know better than players. And not just that, they think that players should either, players don't know what they want, or even just that the players aren't deserving of what they're going to give them. And they're like, this is so perfect, we're delivering it, you know. We've got a
So
pulley
stupid.
system on the ivory tower, lowering Sylvanas down to people, been like, here is the next bit of incredible story, I hope you're waiting. And everyone's like, this is raw meat, I'm so hungry, please.
Yeah.
Give me something cooked. And I think that's
Yeah.
that's the thing I think they need to learn. And
I don't think it's that
that's
bad.
why I think Steven was very, very smart.
I don't think it's raw meat. I think we asked for fucking pizza and they gave us potatoes. They're good potatoes. They're just not what we wanted. But at the same point, like, I would be okay with the potatoes if I got them more than once a fucking year.
Smart to go narrative disaster and players hate it. And then he opened the article with, here's examples from around different places where players are furious at this.
Yeah.
And it's a case where, no, the players are, you know, I mean, we'll get onto this again with some of the FF14 slides later, because this is a core part, but I kind of want to bring it up now when we're talking about this, because the players are the people you're serving.
Yeah.
Not, you know, not completely serving,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's a give and take relationship. Creative goes, it's cool, you want it? Players are like, shit, that looks cool, I'll have it. Can we get some more, please? That's the relationship.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like players have been getting the shit into the stick for so fucking long. We really need a big showing. A big fucking showing of, like, we're number one, we take preference. Just give us what we fucking want. Give us what we fucking want for a while. And earn back some of the goodwill, because you don't have any left. And other people are willing to step up to the line. And I'm not just talking about Final Fantasy. There's quite a few other games that, like, it's weird that I've never come to the start of a patch and then been like, wow, there's nothing to fucking do. And then, like, clear out all my weekly stuff. And usually, you know what I do? I fucking get my 10 mythic plus 10s. I get my, you know, or 15s or whatever the hell, wherever I'm at in the progression. You know, I don't even care about chasing gear this patch. I've been waiting 8 months for this thing, and I'm just so let down that I don't even really care. Just doing my weekly lockouts. It's a weird thing, man.